All right, welcome everyone. I'm Jay Boehmer from The Beat. I'm joined today by Jeff Klee from AmTrav and Sara Reid from Delta. I'll ask each of them to introduce themselves, just to say what they do, where they work, and what their roles are. So Jeff, we'll start with you.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. I'm Jeff Klee. I'm the co-founder and CEO of AmTrav. We are a business travel platform, and we do a lot of things that companies really love, but something that's increasingly concerning to me is that travelers are getting really great experiences on supplier sites that we can't always replicate. So we know NDC isn't perfect, we know all the problems with it, but it's the last best hope to fix that problem. So that's why we're all in on it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sara Reid. I'm the Managing Director of Sales and Distribution Innovation and our global sales support team at Delta Airlines. And I have the privilege of leading Delta's NDC journey, we're calling it our selling and servicing transformation. So excited to share a little bit about that today.
All right, so that was my first thought when I saw the session had NDC in the title and it had a panelist from Delta, and I said, okay, Delta's not the first airline I think of when I think of NDC, so you must be doing something, Sara. So where is that journey? Where do you stand?
Yeah, well, thanks, Jay. First off, I would like to say it's an honor to be here with you and Jeff and so many of our partners across the industry and our customers to give you an update on Delta's NDC journey. We are super excited to be here sharing the progress that we've been making on how we are going to elevate the experiences across channels at Delta. I want to ground us really quickly first in this discussion. We are committed to the ecosystem. We are committed to continuing to create value for our partners, and we want to make sure that our journey, it's known that our journey is to be customer-oriented. Our distribution strategy has not changed. We want to elevate the entire corporate travel ecosystem and ensure we're creating value for our customers. So I think that that's really important to know that we remain committed to business travel on this journey, and we remain committed to the third-party partners. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's new at Delta. First and foremost, we have, the last 6 months, we have pulled together a team, a cross-divisional team of people from Delta Airlines, from our product team to our RM and sales and distribution organization to our reservations team. And what we're focused on is accelerating our sales and servicing journey at Delta. We do not believe in only selling our products. We think it's critical for us to be able to service our products across channels. And so this is part of a broader effort at Delta where we want to become or be a trusted retailer. And so we are investing and believe that it's going to require investments across the ecosystem and partnership across the ecosystem to be able to deliver value to our customers. So another thing that we did that was new, starting in fourth quarter of last year into first quarter, we started what we called a discovery phase, where we went and we reached out to our industry partners, from corporate travel managers to travel agencies to the GDSs and the online booking tools. And we said, we want to deeply understand your current state processes. We do know that those processes are going to change through this selling and servicing transformation, but if we know and understand those processes, we can be intentional about our solution design. And so actually has participated with us in this discovery phase, and I might let him talk a little bit to his experience in that.
Yeah, and it's been a privilege to be a part of that, and I really appreciate the thoughtful approach that Delta is taking to this. They're in fairness coming at this a little bit late, but they're really trying to get the benefit of that hindsight and learn from the bumps in the road and the level of detail and the level of thoughtfulness. I mean, they sent a team out to our offices, and not just us. They've done this with many of their other partners, and they are diving into dissecting every little detail about our operations so that when they release this product or build this product, they're not leaving any stone unturned. They're trying to think of everything. And I was at an advisory board of theirs, and they something that really impressed me. Their head of their global services team, the team that agencies call in for support, is actually they moved her to be under Sara because they want that deep connection between how servicing, all the servicing challenges and what agencies need to do to service and what this new technology will deliver. So my VP of marketing, Elliot McNamee, he told me before this, he said, don't say you agree to anything because it makes for a boring session, but I'm agreeing with their approach 100%.
Yeah, I mean, just to add a little bit to that, one of the reasons why we decided to do this at the company is we wanted to train ourselves to think like an agent, to make sure that we are taking into consideration every servicing scenario possible. We think that if we can only sell our products and not service them, then we're missing something. And so our journey is actually going to be anchored around servicing. We, of course, want to be able to innovate our product line. So we want better products. We want better merchandising, but a key to our journey is better servicing. And I firmly believe that is part of our Delta DNA, and it is something that's been able to set us apart. And so we are getting into the weeds, into the details to really understand how we can ensure that we can continue that. As a matter of fact, we believe that if this journey is done right, we think that servicing will actually be a lot better than what it is in the Edifact world. And we think that we are committed to that. So again, we're committed to the ecosystem, and we are committed to providing a servicing experience that is top-notch.
And Sara, who's Delta working with? You know, some airlines have a homegrown API to support their NDC strategy. Some work with, you know, companies like Excelia. So who are you bringing along on this journey?
Yeah, it's a really great question. We actually are planning to announce the solution design partners that we're working with next week. We have a showcase called Delta Business Showcase. It's a virtual town hall. We'd love for you all to join. But just know that we were very intentional in selecting these solution design partners. We believe they are best in class in the industry, and we are challenging these partners to not just deliver an out-of-the-box solution, but to really tackle some of these business challenges that we know that are out kind of unresolved for our customers. So more to come on that, but just know that we are challenging ourselves and those partners to deliver something that will create value for our customers.
So no comment for
no
now.
No comment.
All right. Where do you stand right now in terms of getting this ready? Are you kind of scoping out the work? Is there something ready for Jeff to consume yet? Where are you?
That's a great question. So what we're doing right now, so we're obviously continuing these customer engagement sessions to make sure that we're prioritizing our capabilities. But we are working with these solution design partners, kind of defining requirements and starting the process of getting ready to develop. We have a lot of these capabilities, specifically servicing capabilities, that are already built in-house in our retail platform. And so we're looking to now use these partners to help us expose those capabilities to our partners in the third-party channel. So what we expect right now, it's going to be an iterative process. We like to say we follow this philosophy called listen, act, listen, where we're listening to our customers' feedback, which is what we've done really in fourth quarter and first quarter. Now we're at the point where we're acting. We're actively implementing, working with these partners to implement these solutions. And then we're going to go ahead and listen again. So it's going to be iterative. I would expect some of our first planned milestones to actually start to come out toward the end of 2024. But that will be for customers that want to come, or partners that want to come and test and learn with us. Okay. We fully expect that we're going to get better and better and add more and more servicing capabilities until we can meet that kind of North Star of creating customer value, having those better products, the better merchandising, and then better servicing.
Great. And Jeff, at AmTrav, you've worked, on direct connects with a few airlines. We'll talk about who you're connected to and kind of how that's going. Maybe kind of airline by airline.
Yeah. So we've got 4 direct connects right now. They're all they're all U.S. airlines because that's our focus. We're and I'll go one by one. We're with American, we're 100% and NDC now, or virtually 100%. And the great thing is when we made that switch, when American first started doing what they were doing, we used to shop both, and if the fare was even, we would book it through the GDS. In October of last year, really significant, a moment I'm really proud of is we said, you know what? American NDC now works better than Edifact. So we moved everyone. There's no reason to put anyone in an Edifact booking right now because we had passed that threshold. It's not perfect, of course, but neither is Edifact. And the servicing and everything else that we need to do is now easier, better, and creates a better experience for our customers than it used to be in Edifact. So that's a big accomplishment. And I also, I want to give American credit that we wouldn't be having this panel if it wasn't for American. I know they take a lot of flack, but someone had to do this. Someone had to get everyone in gear. What we have been delivering to travelers, especially for younger generations of travelers, it's not good enough. It's not sustainable. And I mean, American has, not necessarily in a popular way, but given us all the kick in the ass that we need. And I think it's been great.
And that works for you because you're direct connected with American, right? So one of the things that we've heard pretty clearly from our customers is specifically the travel agencies is the criticality of the GDS and making sure that you're connected through the GDS as well. So we are working alongside the GDS partners and we will be working to implement. We want to be where our customers want us to be. And so that's one of the things that we know that the GDS and the vast majority of our travel agency partners have told us that that's critical that we're there.
And just quickly, what other options do you expect to make available? Will you do direct connects? Will you, work with non-GDS aggregators? Are there, different kind of channels?
That's a really great question. So we're going to be prioritizing our integrations, but it's going to be customer driven. Yeah. We're not going to go and connect with everyone, nor do we think it's sustainable to be able to direct connect with all of the travel agency partners or aggregators that are out there. So it's all going to be driven by what our customers say. We want to be where our customers want us to be, and that's how we're going to prioritize this.
Okay, good. And to let you go on, Jeff, with the other 3 airlines that you're directly connected to.
But on the GDS thing, everyone thinks that I hate GDSs and I'm anti-GDS, and actually, I root for GDSs. I love a lot of the people at the GDSs, and the industry will be best served, without a doubt, if the GDSs can deliver NDC properly. The problem is, and this worries me a lot, I feel that GDSs right now are very oriented around 2 things: the PNR, the flat file text, that everybody uses to exchange data, and also the agency orientation. Like, you talk to executives at GDSs and they're all, rightly say, oh, we're looking to the future, API first. But you get down a level deeper and they're always talking about, the agent tool and the desktop. And, I complain that something's not working on a customer has a problem with shopping on our booking tool, and they say, oh, just do like a, XYZ end item cross a Lorraine and it'll fix it. And I'm making up the exact command, but they're so in that mindset of, I think they need to start over. And what I would love a GDS to do is to say, first of all, we're going to have a trip record is going to be a new JSON structure. It's not going to be a PNR anymore. And we're going to manage these connections. We're going to aggregate these connections to every airline. And at the lowest level, we're going to give our subscribers the ability to, like a pass-through interface, where if Delta has built something and a GDS hasn't had time to code to it yet, we can still get access to that because we still have access to those low-level functions. But then on top of it, where the GDS really adds value, they add the orchestration level where they normalize things and they do all the things that they were really good at in the Edifact days. So I really want the GDSs to make a fundamental shift in philosophy so that they can be relevant in this, because I think we would love to be able to connect to GDSs for NDC. But right now, if we do that, we're going to get a subset of the functionality, and we're not going to get that real understanding of where a problem is. When we work directly with the airlines, we see what works and what doesn't work. There's no finger pointing. Oh, it's the GDS. Oh, it's Acelia. Oh, it's the airline. We know exactly what's wrong, and we've got contacts with the airlines we can make suggestions to, and we can help get things done. So, I
do want to just kind of jump in. Like, we do believe fundamentally that this transformation is going to require investment across the ecosystem, and we believe that partnership is going to be the way that happens. So, we want to work alongside the travel agency partners, the GDSs, the OBTs. We want to work alongside the corporate travel managers to define what it is that is going to create value. Because right now, it seems like we've been more focused as an industry on pushing technology out to the market versus creating value. And so I think that's really where we are looking to kind of have that be our North Star. Yeah. And I do think that being out over fourth quarter and first quarter with the travel agency partners, the GDS partners, there are a lot of processes that have been built up around the GDS. And then the agencies have then built new processes on top of that. And so we are in a world where it's going to be necessary to think about redesigning business flows.
That has to be unwound, because that is a mess.
But I also think that we can't just get rid of the value that those processes are providing. We know that for our customers, for the corporate customers, to have access to things like duty of care, to be able to get their negotiated rates, to be able to see holistically what their travel programs are, it's absolutely critical that these functions get transformed into the new world. And so I think that, to me, is what we need to accomplish as an industry working together.
And Sara, what do you want NDC to do for Delta that you can't do today? Is it new content? Is it, you mentioned, servicing, maybe you can do different things, but why bother?
Yeah, that's great. So we do feel like on the product side, we have pushed EDIFACT to its limits. We 10 years ago or so, we rolled out our branded fares products to the market. We leveraged EDIFACT, pushed it as hard as we can. We're at the point now where it's time to innovate our product line, and we know that the new technology is going to be necessary to be able to do that. And so I do think that what we want to do is, we at this point right now have no plans to follow other airline strategies to remove content or impose surcharges at this point. But what we want to do is we want to create new products that customers are asking for, and we want to deliver them via this new technology. The other big thing is that servicing is a huge opportunity. Today, when our corporate travelers will shop in the third-party channel and make a change in our Delta Direct channel, our travel agency partners will lose the ability to be able to service them from subsequent changes. Also, the data is a mess, and you're not able to see it from duty of care and things like that. I firmly believe if this transformation is done right, that this servicing journey is going to get a lot better. And so we want to be able to sell those products. We want to be able to fulfill them at Delta, and then we want to be able to service them in a fantastic way for our customers, creating value for the corporate travel managers and their programs. Our travel agency partners will better be able to service these customers. And the end traveler, Jeff's right. We want them to have the shopping experience that they get in the direct channels, and we want to make it available in their preferred channel, which is the third-party channel.
And the interoperability is so important. Customers don't think in terms of channels the way we do. And I think something Delta's aiming for that, if I can continue on some of our connections, United has done such a great job. United's architecture, their NDC product is essentially a wrapper around their e-commerce product. And it's so cool how when someone books through us, changes a ticket on united.com, we get a notification of that. It updates our reporting, our bookings, duty of care. It all flows through to us. And then if the customer wants to change it again, no problem. There's no like ownership issues with the record, which is such a big step forward for our industry. I mean, we haven't had that in forever. And, now that the airline, a road warrior on, Delta or United or American, they want to use the airline apps. The airline apps are great, and we shouldn't tell them that they can't use it because they're in a managed travel program. So I think that's one of the great promises of NDC, and I think, Delta gets that, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
So you're committed to that kind of, omni-channel servicing?
We absolutely want our customers to be able to buy our products and have their products serviced in their preferred channel. And we are committed to making sure that it supports the travel program for our corporate customers.
All right. So speed round, Sarah, and you already kind of addressed some of these, but just to put a fine point on it, will Delta put in an EDIFACT surcharge?
Yeah, so no, like I said, we're not planning to follow any of the other airline strategies. We want to follow, we're charting our own course here. And we believe that customer value is going to be what drives adoption. So those better products, better merchandising, and better servicing. So we have no plans to implement a surcharge, to prematurely remove content from EDIFACT.
Okay, that was the next one. Yeah.
No plans from Delta on that.
Sky Miles accrual differences.
No plans.
Parity there.
We are committed to consistency across our channels, and we are committed to allowing our customers to be in their preferred channel.
Yeah. So Jeff, what would you like to see out of Delta's API when it's up and running? What are the biggest things that you want to see it do for you?
What we want to be able to do is essentially recreate the experience that travelers would have on delta.com, but in a platform that allows their company to get the policy control, the visibility, the savings if they have a corporate program that they want. So when someone does a shop on our booking tool, I want the Delta flights that come back, I want them to be the exact flights that they would get on delta.com with the exact same brand options that we can show. And then if they want to change the ticket, if they need to change their return, I want to present the same options at the same prices, or lower if they have a corporate discount than what they would get on delta.com. And that, it sounds easy and it sounds obvious, but it's been so elusive in this industry. And, we've got third-party distribution that's off in this crazy silo of complicated stuff that's 40 years old, and then you've got all these great e-commerce platforms that almost all the airlines have built. So how do we get rid of all that old crap and let everybody, whether you're coming in directly or indirectly, take advantage of that cool those cool e-commerce platforms that airlines have built over the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, I mean, we actually heard a lot when we were out in the discovery session of many of our travel agencies and corporate customers desiring the same thing. They want to be able to get consistent offers across our channels. So there are some challenges right now with the existing NDC schemas. And so one of the things that we're looking at, we understand why there's a need for a standard, but we also are looking to push the limit. Like, does the standard create value? Because it needs to create value in this new world. And oh, you want to go? Go.
Well, I mean, this is like red meat for me because this is I hate the way the IATA schemas have constrained progress, and I hate the excuse, oh, we can't do this, we can't add this functionality because the schema doesn't support it. And something that's been so refreshing, I mean, Delta has said, hey, well, and not just to us, but to all their partners they're talking to, don't worry about the standards or how things are done today. Just start with the ideal picture of how we want things, and we will figure out how to get there. And they seem, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but very willing to do whatever they need to do to the schema in order to be able to deliver the services and the functionality and the content that we and our customers want.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things that as we've been out talking to customers, we've been talking about, let's take offers, for example. We have got journey-based offers that are out in the marketplace, and some of the time what we're seeing is customers are really struggling to find the offers that they want within the NDC within NDC. And so one of the things that we're thinking about is how do we actually do this differently? On our .com website, you're able to go and you're going to shop for your outbound, and then you see their inbound results then dependent on that. And so we're looking at partnering across the ecosystem to say, how do we optimize our offers? To be able to add qualifiers to the search results. And so the flow is very similar to what you see on the .com, so that your results, you're actually like finding an intuitive and intentional way to get results back.
And every TMC will tell you, like, the worst thing is when customers say, like, hey, I found this flight or I found this fare on airline.com. Why don't you have it in your booking tool? And that every time I hear that, it's painful for me, because we should have it. There's no good reason why we don't. So anything that gets us closer to that true parity is a huge win.
Right.
The other thing that we've done, so we've over the last decade, we've been investing a lot for our corporate travel partners and for our travel agency partners through our Delta Professional website. A lot of these capabilities could be available in the native GDS if we do this right. And so what we want to do is take some of the value that we've created and through this new technology be able to deliver that. So things like travel exceptions that are available to customers, the value that we can provide, that is, you can pick up the phone and call. We will still be available to pick up the phone and call, but we want to use this new technology to be able to add that servicing capability out into the marketplace. So
and this is actually something that, American United, it's live today. If there's it's a great thing about NDC. If there's a weather waiver, you just do a reshop. It's no different. You don't need a crazy process where you have to put in a waiver code and do this, and this in order to ticket it. If you're a customer and you want to change your flight and a waiver happens to apply, it just automatically comes back as $0. And it's the way it should be. We've got all these constructs and, like waiver codes and fare-based codes, right, and RBDs. The person from Kaya, I think her name was, from Blue Origin, was talking about, help us create a ticketing system. And I promise you, whatever they create, because they're starting from scratch, is not going to have RBDs. It's not going to have fare-based codes. And, NDC is a way to get past that. If an airline wants to have all those internally, great. But we certainly don't think the travelers should have anything to do with that. But even the travel sellers, really, we don't care anymore how the offer is created. Like, let the airlines make the sausage however they want. Just give us the offers that you're giving your customers through your .com site.
Yeah. So American United, they have pretty mature NDC technology, and they've had pretty defined NDC commercial strategies. And here you are, kind of earlier in the journey. So what are the pros and cons of kind of doing what you're doing at this stage in the game?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that one thing to note is that we have been building out our selling and servicing capabilities on our retail platform. The advantage that we have now of getting ready to expose those to the third-party channel is we get to learn from how other implementations have gone. Yeah. So we are very actively having conversations not only about existing processes, but we want to learn about what the customer pain points are with the new implementations as well. So we're being really thoughtful in the way that we implement. And again, we don't, at this point, we have no plans to rush this technology to the market. Mm-hmm. We're going to be thoughtful and intentional, and we're going to make sure it's going to create value for our customers. And kind of using that listen, act, listen strategy, our customers are going to be the ones that are telling us, is it working or not? Yeah. I've heard a lot of commentary from our partners out in the industry about things that aren't working so well today. And so what we want to do is we want to actually make it work and create value. Yeah.
And who else are you getting feedback from as you kind of scope all this out? Obviously, Jeff's been on some advisory groups. Which constituents are you reaching out to create your checkboxes that you got to
Yeah, that's off? Great. So we obviously are working with our solution design partners that we mentioned that we'll talk about next week. But we are working with the travel agency community. We've been out with corporate travel managers. We've been talking to the online booking tools, the GDSs, and any real party that is going to be, I think, creating value in this ecosystem in the future. So we're listening to what our customers are telling us, and we're having conversations based on those discussions.
Yeah, okay, good. And Jeff, this is slightly shifting gears, but you said you had 4 direct connects, and you mentioned American, United. The other 2 are
So we got
Southwest and Spirit, right?
Southwest, which isn't technical. It's not NDC,
Yeah.
and like I said, I don't care about the standard or the API.
Right.
And Southwest is a great example. It works perfectly. It's reliable, and probably 99 point something% of what you could do on Southwest.com, you could do on our booking tool through the API. I mean, it's the way it should be. And our 4th is Spirit, which also works very well. I mean, they don't have particularly good GDS connectivity, so we direct connected to them.
Yeah. And then what kind of volume of overall bookings at AmTrav are
So
NDC?
we're trying to hit the 50% mark, and we're close. We're bouncing around. A couple weeks we've been above it. I mean, I think we're continuing to add more direct connects. We very much look forward to the day when we can do so with Delta. But so
Will you let them have a direct connect?
Will you let us?
We're going to listen to what our customers tell us that they want.
Go on, Jeff. Sorry.
I mean, I think we'll for sure by the end of the year be significantly above 50%. Okay. So I mean, it's everyone says NDC doesn't work and you can't do it at scale. I mean, admittedly, we're very U.S. centric, so we don't have to worry about the whole globe. But I mean, within the U.S. market, at least, it works. Yeah.
And how do you prioritize which airlines you say we should directly connect to them, or we'll take EDIFACT, or maybe we work with an aggregator? What's kind of your philosophy there?
I mean, it's a combination of what airlines are important to our customers. Mm-hmm. And what's available through an NDC connection? What's the gap that it closes? Like if we connect directly versus continuing to use a GDS, what are we actually going to be able to deliver? So I think that's the criteria. I mean, it's probably no surprise. Our 4 biggest airlines are United, Delta, Southwest, and American. So we are direct connected to 3 of those 4. Looking forward to the day where it's 4 of the 4. And so those are kind of the easy ones. But beyond that, we talk to lots of other airlines. They're all at different places in their NDC journeys, and there are some international carriers that we're working with now and working on connections who have very mature NDC APIs. There are some other U.S. airlines that we're interested in. Some don't quite have all the full servicing capabilities that we need. I mean, we need to be able to service anything that we sell. So if an airline API doesn't support servicing, we're interested in keeping tabs on it and maybe starting some development work, but we're never going to go live with it until we can get those full servicing capabilities.
Yeah. And Sarah, what are the biggest challenges as you go from where you are now to something that you think is, really market ready and, performing the way you want it to?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the biggest challenges are when you go out and talk to customers, everyone has a slightly different user experience, right? And that's one of the benefits of working with the GDS to some degree, is there is some standardization, but we want to make sure that we are developing something that will meet all of our customers' needs. And so we are going to have to prioritize our integrations, make sure that we're able to be where our customers want us to be. But that's definitely one of the challenges, I would say, that's out, that we're faced with. But again, part of that, I believe, is if we are listening to our customers, we're going to be able to learn from that, and ensure that we're adding those capabilities. I keep saying that I actually don't think that there's a real end date in sight for this, because this is just continuous innovation and improvement. And again, we are committed to the ecosystem. We are committed to our partners and creating value. And so I think that this journey is just going to continue, and we're going to get better and better. And the third-party channel is going to be a place where our customers can be. They can shop in the third-party channel and get the selling and servicing capabilities that they desire for their preferred programs.
Yeah.
And I think Delta's in a position, you can push the whole industry forward. I mean, if American blazed a trail trail, and United expanded on that with some cool features. You come out with all these new capabilities that you have, and then it pushes everyone. And I think it's exactly what we need. And hopefully over time, all of these the connectivity options will get better and better, and ultimately the winners will be our customers.
Wonderful. And Jeff said that with 3 seconds left. So unfortunately, we're out of time. A big round of applause for Sara and Jeff. Thank you.